guys, and welcome to yet another Halo Infinite video. But a word to any of you guys that are new to my channel, I make new Halo videos every single week, so if you find yourself liking this video, be sure to drop a like on the video. I greatly appreciate it, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any new videos every single week. I greatly appreciate it. But going into this video, this is something that dawned on me when I was going back and watching the Halo Infinite gameplay demo for like the 1000th time. But if you really think about it, we've never had a Halo game where the brutes and the elites fight together against the player. Ever. That's never happened. Literally think about any Halo game that has the brutes or the elites or both of them in it. If you have a mission that you're fighting the brutes, you will not be fighting elites. If you have a mission where you're fighting the elites, you will not be fighting the brutes. If there's a mission where both the elites and the brutes are together, no matter the Halo game, they are fighting each other. That is crazy. And now that we know that Halo Infinite is going to be, we're going to be fighting the Banished, where the elites and the brutes are united in their efforts to do whatever the hell they're going to be doing in Halo Infinite, taking over Zeta Halo, I guess. But if you watch the Halo Infinite gameplay demo, you see in skirmishes, firefights where Master Chief is fighting the Banished, there are elites and brutes fighting within the same squads. That is crazy to think that we've never seen that before in a Halo game. So really, it just begs me to think, what is this going to be like? We know how the brutes fight, we know how the elites fight, but we don't know how they fight together. And that just got me thinking, what cool things could 343 do to make these fights more interesting than they ever have been before, because these guys have never fought you together on the battlefield. So guys, let's dive in. So the first thing that I think about is when you think about the individual traits of the brutes and the elites, you immediately have some things come to your mind. Like, for example, when you think of the brutes, you think of their ability to just be really tanky. They just take a lot of abuse before they finally go down, and the fact that they can have a berserk ability where they just drop all concern for, you know, self-preservation and run at you to try to flush you out of your position and melee you to death. That's something that's unique to the brutes. And then when you think of the elites, you just think about their gracefulness. They're kind of like the samurai of the Covenant, and they have, some of them have the ability to use like active camouflage, like the Spec Ops elites, energy swords. Those are the things you think about with the elites, and some things that you think about with the brutes. Now, how could they coexist on the battlefield to give you, as Master Chief, unique combat encounters within the open world of Halo Infinite? For example, say you're running through the open world of Halo Infinite and you start taking enemy fire. The Banished are shooting at you, so you dive behind some cover, you're trying to get your energy shields back, and say you hear a brute yell, "I'm going in." He throws his spiker or whatever the hell he's carrying down, and he starts rushing your position to flush you out of cover. Maybe the elites, which are carrying carbines or snipers or whatever, will then get into firing positions where they can take advantage of the brutes flushing you out of your position. That's the kind of stuff that I think is really neat, because if you think about like a suicide grunt, for example, he'll run at you and try to flush you out of your position or before you kill him, but he's not tanky. He's not, and he's coming at you with the ability to insta-kill you, so that makes it fair. It's like, yeah, he can kill you with his suicide grenades, but you can kill him easily with one headshot. A berserking brute is going to have to beat you a few times before you finally die, so that's interesting because he also has more health. That balances it out, and it makes it fair. You know that, because that's really important in Halo game, is that everything needs to be fair. So if you have something that can insta kill you, it needs to be, you need to have an audio cue or something. So same scenario, you're running through the world of Halo Infinite, the Banished are, you know, giving you, they start shooting at you, so you get in cover, you're waiting for your shields to regen, and now instead of maybe the brutes rushing in to flush you out of your position, because if they do that the same way every single time, it's going to get repetitive and boring. Say the brutes are then just suppressing fire, they're just keeping you pinned behind the cover. Then the elites use their active camouflage to get in and flank you behind the rocks with like energy swords or something like that. That is so freaking cool. Also, that's another thing that can instantly kill you with their energy sword. So to make it fair, you would have to have an audio cue. Like maybe you hear their energy, their active camouflage turn on, so that the player knows, okay, there's invisible elites out here. They're coming for me. I got to be on the lookout for that. And I think that's really interesting, because if you think about like the active camouflage encounters that you had in previous Halo games, generally the way those worked is that you went into that interaction, that firefight, they were already invisible. But knowing that the elites on the battlefield have the ability to activate their active camouflage at any given time, given the situation, is extremely cool. That makes the elites and the brutes different, you know what I mean? Because it's like, if you look at a brute, you know his traits, and you look at an elite, you know his traits. And really, if you think about it, if you look at like Halo 3, the brutes are the antagonists of that game, so they have a lot of the elite traits. You know, they use a lot of the vehicles that the elites use. They act similar to the elites, except for their more brutal like things that they do, like berserking. Now, doing stuff like this, giving the elites the brutes the ability to berserk, and the elites to be able to use equipment like Master Chief to be able to, you know, use active camouflage on the fly, makes them different. It makes the brutes have things that they can do, like we saw in the gameplay demo. They could grab a grunt, a suicide grunt, and throw him at the Master Chief, die for the Banished, and blow him up. That's something you can expect from brutes on the battlefield in the Halo Infinite sandbox. You can expect elites to do things like use their active camouflage to flank you and do things like that. That makes the brutes and the elites different and gives them a reason to coexist within the Banished, and really makes sense to make it really cool to fight them for the first time together in the Halo sandbox. Okay, and now there's one thing that I would love to see with the brutes and the elites of Halo Infinite. We now know that they are going to be fighting you together, which is great. Like I said, there's so many creative things 343 could do with this that I hope they're going to really take advantage of. But one thing I would love is something that we've seen in other Halo games, but just really make it something that the player control. And that is, how cool would it be if you are in the open world of Halo Infinite and you come across a Banished, like, camp, or not something, you know, there's just a bunch of Banished in one location. There's brutes, there's elites, there's grunts, there's jackals, there's everything. How cool would it be, instead of you just going in and killing everybody like you can in every other Halo game, how cool would it be? Because you know that the brutes and the elites have a very fragile alliance. They have history, they have past. How cool would it be if you could do something in the Halo sandbox that would cause them to start fighting each other? You could, like, you're going through stealthy, and say you do, like, I don't know exactly what it'd be. 343 is going to be able to think something far cooler than but you could do something that makes the brutes look at the elites and go, oh, you did this, and then, you know, and they get into a fight and create a huge distraction so that you can go and do whatever it is you're trying to do. First of all, some of the coolest missions in Halo ever are the missions, like, I think of, like, Halo Combat Evolved 2 Betrayals. That's a mission where Master Chief is on his own team, there's the Covenant, and there's the Flood, and it's a three-way fight between all of you. And how cool it'd be if within the open world of Halo Infinite, you can create those experiences between the elites and the brutes. And now, if the Flood is in Halo Infinite as well, oh, that's four-way fight. That's gonna be crazy, especially if, you know, you have the ability to bring Marines with you in the open world of Halo Infinite. That's, you know, the UNSC, the elites, the brutes, and the Flood. How cool would it be if the player has the option, or at least the opportunity in certain places within the open world of Halo Infinite, to create that civil war again, to make the brutes and the elites take up arms against each other and start fighting? And that would be so cool to be able to take advantage of those situations, or just sit back and watch them just tear each other to pieces. I would love that. But guys, that's all I could think about with as far as having elites and brutes on, you know, fight against you and also fight each other in the open world of Halo Infinite. What do you guys think? Have you guys thought of anything that I haven't thought of? What do you want to see from the brutes and the elites in Halo Infinite? Let me know down in the comments. I can't wait to read them all. But guys, that's all I have for this video. If you found yourself liking this video, be sure to drop a like on it. It helps the video out a lot, and it means a lot to me. I also make new Halo videos every single week, so be sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.